This is going to be a demonstration of a block drill. The goal of this drill is to expose the weaknesses in your defense. What you're going to see here is I'm going to start by beating on my squire Aiden, and I've slowed everything down to half speed. So obviously we're really moving faster than this. You can see I'm starting off with just some basic shots, just some outside wraps, cross wraps, inside shots, that kind of thing. This isn't stuff I'd necessarily throw in real combat, but it's a good practice for this. Obviously you do want to show things that they are going to run across, and sadly, you know, the cross mid-wrap to the forearm is real common. Anyways, what you're going to see is that he's keeping his hand pretty far back. He's especially bringing it really close in when I'm swinging, and then he's not resetting far enough out, or resetting out at all in between strikes. And what this does is, as I swing faster, he retreats further and further into his body with his block, and that makes it really hard for him to cut off angles of attack, and it gives me a lot of room to swing before he has to react to me. He should be keeping that further out. You'll see me do that later. And he should also probably have a horizontal guard as opposed to a vertical guard. The horizontal guard is going to make blocking a simple up or down maneuver, and it helps cut off a lot of angles of attack. So here I go, I'm speeding up a little bit, and you're seeing me throw the same shot over and over. And what that is if he doesn't block it the first time, I keep throwing it until he does block it. So that's just the training tool that we're working on, so that he can, definitely figure out what he needs to do that. He's starting to do a little bit better here. He's starting to try and reset to guard and push it out a little bit more, but he's still not doing it as much as he should be. Alright. Now he's got a horizontal guard there, but you're going to see he tips it back up. And that's the problem a lot of people have, is they have good initial form, but then once the shit hits the fan, they fall back into their old bad habits and they start getting killed, and they wonder why. If you stop and you make sure that you've got good form, you'll do a lot better the whole way through. You can see I'm throwing in some feints now. After you go up through the slow speeds into the intermediary speeds and the fast speeds, you can start over again and you can throw some feints in. This is a great time for you to practice your feints, since they have to try and block them. In fact, it's one of the only ways to really practice your feints against a static opponent, unless you're really fighting them. And it also really helps them with learning how to read and determine when a shot is real and when a shot is a feint. Also, it just completely throws them off, because they're at this point very much used to just trying to dedicate to whatever shot they see coming, because the drill really forces them to reevaluate. Now out here, you can see that I'm trying to reset pretty far out between every swing. I'm not making it as often as I should be. I'm going to blame that because it's my left hand. Now, I've been working my left hand, kind of a lot to try and make up for it, but it's still not where I want it to be. But you can see that I'm trying to reset to the outside, and I'm trying to reset further from my body. Now, this is my right hand, and my form is a lot better there. And you can see what I've got is a pretty strong horizontal guard, and I'm resetting pretty far out every time. So I'm cutting off his angles of attack, and as soon as he starts swinging in one direction, that gives me a pretty good idea of where my sword needs to be to block that angle of attack. So if I could do this with my left hand, I'd be a lot better off, right? I probably can by now. I've really been working on it. Anyways, but he swings, I reset back out. I'm maintaining pretty constant contact with his sword, and it's really a pretty solid defense.